I have an incredible statistic that I want to tell you about in this video, so hang into this video a while, because this is going to shock you. I'm fairly confident that not many people know this. So as you know, I'm not a big fan of doctors, and I've lost my faith in doctors probably, I don't know, maybe around 20 years ago, 15, 20 years ago. I met this man full of life, probably in his 50s. He traveled. I mean, it was a business associate, a pretty good friend of mine actually, and he got sick, had a cancer. It just seemed to me that the doctors were killing him with all this medicine. They were supposed to help him. He looked. The last time I went up to see him, he lived in Minnesota. I lived in Missouri. I took my daughter with me. She liked to go on my business trips with me. It was a good educational experience for her. So I took her up there, and he called me up and said, hey, next time you're in Minnesota, let me know. We'll go out to eat. So I called him, and I knew he didn't have long to live, so I wanted to see him again. I took my daughter. Now, my daughter knew him. She was, I don't know, maybe 8, and she loved him too. So we get out of the car, and we walk over to him. He gets out of his car, and my daughter was frightened of him, just terrified. He was dead already. Just happened to be walking around, zombie looking. It was terrible, and I didn't know what to tell her. I mean, she was tough. She understood that she was gonna have to get through this. I haven't went to the doctor that much in my life. The few times I have went, they've never been able to help me. The last time I went, it was urgent care. I had a terrible outbreak of allergies. It just, my entire body was covered in a rash. And I just couldn't take the itching anymore. So finally I went to the doctor. He said, oh, you got scabies. So he gave me this cream, and I rubbed it all over my body just like I was supposed to, and nothing. Of course, he gave me steroids. Steroids is standard medication. I do all the things he tells me to do. Well, I go back a while later, and then they give me more steroids. Now, he knows, I would assume he knows, I don't remember exactly, but I assume that he read my medical record, and they just gave me steroids, but he gives me more. Over the next few years, my right eye is completely gone now. It has been diminishing ever since, and I've been working diligently to try to repair it. I think I know what's wrong with it. I think I can fix it. I don't know if I can or not, but it's definitely worth a try. So I've got this new vitamin actually, and last night I noticed my peripheral has come back. It's not 100%. I mean, it's still fuzzy. But when I go to take the driver's exam and they do that little red dot test, I'm pretty confident that I'll be able to pass it now. I'll be able to see it. Whereas before, I wasn't too sure. So I did this all on my own with research, understanding, watching videos, trying to figure out what's wrong with it. I think I got it nailed. And the thing is I just got an email from a guy, probably 2 weeks ago. He was a little skeptical of me when I said that steroids is an issue. He didn't believe me. But now his wife or girlfriend or somebody that he's close to, obviously, got on steroids, and now she's got all kinds of problems. So he's a believer now. I had a family member a while back. I actually documented this event in my YouTube channel. I got sick, cancer. So we come back home. This is when we were nomads. We come back home to care for her and get her up to the hospital and everything. And she was pretty convinced that she was not going to get chemotherapy. Well, then she goes visits the chemo doctor, part of the process to, she wanted to get the radiation, but she didn't want to get the chemo. He talked her into it. This is going to extend your life, and they always give these percentages. When you're desperate and you think you're going to die, you, I guess, are more susceptible. So it's like when you don't have a car, your car died on the side of the road and you got to get to work and you go to the car dealer. That car dealer knows you need a car. So they can really pressure you into buying one, even if you can't afford it or don't like that one or whatever it is. You have to have a car. So when you know you're dying, doctors are salesmen. You have to understand, doctors are businessmen. Doctors are not doctors. They're businessmen, and they want to make money. I did a little research on this last night about different surgeries and different things. If they can choose which surgery they want to give, they're going to give the more expensive one. Isn't that something else? That's incredible. And so if they know that you're susceptible or you're desperate, they're going to sell you. They're going to upsell you. Just like a regular salesman does. They're going to upsell you. They're not interested in curing you. I just learned the other day that medical schools are now funded basically by drug companies. Doctors don't learn how to treat patients. They learn how to distribute drugs. What does that mean? If you're just selling drugs, that's your job, to be a drug seller. Aren't you a drug dealer? And we frown on drug dealers in this society, but all through the 90s, probably into the 2000s, and I would imagine still yet today, most of the country is addicted to pharmaceuticals, opioids. If you can convince them that you're sick and you're in pain, they just keep drugging you up, drugging you up, drugging you up. I'm not interested. I remember one time I was in a serious car accident, went to the emergency room. I was unconscious at the time, had all kinds of broken ribs, my spleen or something detached. It was kind of hairy, apparently, but so they wanted to give me Tylenol 3. I took what they prescribed while I was in the hospital. I really didn't have a choice. They were just handing me stuff and I was taking them. But then when I got out of the hospital, they gave me Tylenol 3. And I didn't take them. I don't see the point. I'm not interested in getting addicted to doctors' drugs. They want you addicted. Why? So they can sell you more. That's all it is. It's just business for them. They don't care about you. And I know somebody's going to say, my doctor is the best. It's amazing to me. Everybody has the best doctor. Again, wait for the statistic. It's incredible. That family member I was telling you about went to the chemo doctor, and the chemo doctor upsold her and convinced her to take chemo. This was incredible. Once I realized what was going on here, once I realized that, oh, she's got insurance, the doctor's like, hey, yeah, let's do this, buddy. $8,000 per treatment, 3 or 4 times a week for, I don't remember, 6-7 weeks. It was incredible. The man could have retired. I could have retired on just what he made off this one patient. But if you go to the hospital, like the emergency room, without insurance, bare minimum, they're not interested in taking care of you. So that should tell you something. By law, they have to take care of you, but they're not going to do anything special. We took Carolyn to the emergency room a while back, and now she has insurance. There are 3 methods in which she could have gotten taken care of. There's a natural method, which he didn't even come close to mentioning. You can take medication, which he didn't come close to mentioning. But you can also get a surgery. Oh, yes, they're $15,000 surgery. Come on in, we'll take care of you. Well, the thing they were wanting to do surgery on doesn't come without risk. There are risks involved. More serious risk than just living with what she had. But we went the natural route, and she's much better now. So the reason I'm bringing this video up is all the time in the comment section, somebody is telling me to go to the doctor to get something treated. Oh, you got this issue. I can see that you got this issue. You need to go to the doctor. No, I don't. I refuse to go to the doctor. The only time I might go to the doctor is if I have a broken bone. But probably not. Not if my leg isn't like crooked. I had a dislocated ankle. I mean, it was terrible. Oh, terrible. I lived with it. I have fake teeth. I make my own teeth. So I took that material, it's plastic material, it melts at 120 degrees. You can put it in coffee and it doesn't melt, it becomes pliable. And I made a cast out of that, put it on my ankle, and I walked around, got some crutches, walked around with crutches. Well, it was feeling better. So I went for a walk one day without the cast or anything, and I tripped, just barely, just kind of a little slip actually, and it popped back into place. So that was painful, but that's how much I hate going to doctors. I despise them. I'd have been going to doctors for the rest of my life if I'd have went in for that. So I just don't go. I think I have a better chance of living doing it myself. So I have decided that I wanted to be on a carnivorous diet, and I feel so much better. And it's taken a lot of time to get adjusted to it. First started the carnivorous diet, it was, we'll still eat popcorn every night and tomatoes. And then we got away from tomatoes, and we were still eating popcorn, and nuts, we would eat nuts. And finally we said, you know what, the heck with all of this. When I realized that sugar was making my eyes stay bad, when I realized all sugars needed to be eliminated. I just started eating meat, eggs, and cheese. That's it, nothing else, no spices. I was also taking this natural remedy, and I can see better over here. And the only way I noticed it, first of all, the reason I noticed it's getting better is it's becoming more annoying. My brain has learned to block this eye out. I don't even notice it not working unless I cover up my right eye. Well, now, over the last few days, it is absolutely annoying. My brain is trying to get vision from both of them. So it's hard to focus on this eye. Last night, we were watching TV and Carolyn was laying beside me on my right side, and I can never see her in my peripheral at all. I can't see her. So she moved her arm the other day, or last night, and I noticed the movement. And so I covered up my eye to see if I could see her with my good eye. This is my good eye. And I couldn't see her because my nose is blocking. I mean, I can't. So I took my hand away. I covered up the good eye, and I could see her. And that's how I realized my eye is getting better. I did this on my own without surgeries. Now, I'm not saying it's ever going to get it 100%. I just wanted to be able to see that red dot, and I've accomplished that. The thing that bothers me about going to get a surgery on my eye is a doctor took my sight away, and now a doctor wants to put my sight back in place. It's like dentists. I can't stand dentists, and it's not because I'm afraid of dentists. I don't have a problem with dentists, but every broken tooth I have is because of a dentist. The first one, I don't know how it broke, but it broke. So I go to a dentist, and he says, well, we can just yank it out. Now, I had insurance and everything. He could have done whatever he wanted, but he wanted to yank it out. Fine, we'll yank it out. So I go back in to get it yanked out, and it breaks the rest of the way. Now he can't get it out. And you can see the panic in his eyes. I mean, this guy's got a practice with a big office and nurses or dental techs or whatever you want to call them. He looks like, he's of some age, so he's been doing this for a while, and he got nervous. He was scared. You could see that he was scared. And he says, well, maybe we'll just leave that in. I'll file it down. It looks fine. I noticed that while he was in there, he hit another tooth with one of his instruments. A few months later, I'm eating a piece of pizza, and it breaks the rest of the way off. So I go get that one repaired by a different dentist, and he did the same darn thing. I have 3 broken teeth, all because of dentists. Why would I go to a dentist? They keep breaking my teeth. Here's the statistic I wanted to read to you. Now, we can all agree, I'm sure that we can all agree that gun violence, oh, that's terrible, right? I mean, that's all we hear on the news. Gun violence is terrible, and we need to get rid of guns. Now, I'm not a big advocate of getting rid of guns, but I'm sure that we all have heard it so much that we are convinced that gun violence is the worst thing in the world. So gun violence, 40,000 people die in the United States in 2023 from gun violence. It's my understanding that if anybody's killed by a gun, whether it's self-defense or a police officer, they consider that gun violence. So that means every time a bullet has ended someone's life, 40,000 people died. Pretty tragic. That's terrible. So then we move up to the next highest statistic. The next highest statistic says that 43,000 people are killed each year in the U.S. from car accidents. So 3,000 more people die from car accidents than guns. So we should get rid of cars too, obviously. I mean, cars are highly regulated. We have to have seat belts and inspections every year. We can all agree that car accidents are a terrible thing. And then so we move on, and this one's no big deal. It really isn't. So patients die from medical malpractice every year. 400,000 people die every year from medical malpractice. So here we're talking about 40,000. This is insane to me. We don't regulate doctors. No. As a matter of fact, what we do is we come up with this disease a few years ago, tell everybody to lock themselves in the houses until we find a cure to this, and then they say, oh, here's the cure. Let's go get a shot. It's totally 100% safe. Come on in. And so you get the shot, and then if you don't get the shot, you're ridiculed, you're made fun of, they want to arrest you, they want to kick you out of the military. And then after all of it's said and done, oh, it's not quite as safe as what we mentioned. Lots of young people are having heart attacks from it. So we invented this vaccine to keep old people from dying in nursing homes so we could kill young people out in the soccer field. Gotcha. Thanks, Doc. You're a heck of a guy. You are the best doctor in the world. Everybody has one. I don't understand why so many people put so much trust into doctors. I watched a doctor on Fox News talking about the carnivorous diet and how it's poison. We all need to eat a balanced diet, and it's talking about all the critical. And the thing is they are now telling everybody to eat Kellogg's cereal, sugar, it's all sugar, for supper. And when you get overweight, you know what they got for that? They now have a new pill that makes you lose weight. So you can eat all you want, take your diabetes drugs, and take this pill to keep you from getting fat. Or you could just read the latest research on carnivorous diets and find something out. Might learn something, Doc. So if you'll click this up next box, it'll take you to a video where I was talking about preppers are wrong. So I hope I can inspire you to take care of yourself when you live in your dreams. Thanks for watching.